John Talley here with Partzilla.com. Today we're going to show you how to change out the air filter on our 2008 Honda CBR 600RR. Pretty simple procedure. Starts by just getting this tank cover out of the way. So let's get started. All right, first thing, just get the seat off. I believe we're using a 5mm Allen to get that done. These little plastic rivets in the back, they actually unscrew and then lift out. This takes a really light touch. Next, there's just a 5mm on either side in that same location. Alright guys, with the tank cover out of the way, only thing we need to get removed is this IAT sensor. And we want to go ahead and unscrew this little bar that's holding the ECM in place. But you don't want to disconnect it. I mean, this won't be the last time you'll be in here working or looking at the air filter, which you should do, about the same time that you do an oil change with it. You at least want to go in there and take a look at it, make sure it's not got any debris in it. But you don't want to be plugging and unplugging the ECM over and over again, because these little connectors, they really don't like that. So you just want to move it up and out of the way. Next, just have a few Phillips head screws going around the perimeter of the top of the cover. Make sure that your intake air temperature sensor is unplugged. Just swing the ECU out of the way. Take off that upper cover. Hey, guess what? We have a little surprise in here, guys. Y'all can't see it yet, but this particular machine has a very nice K&N filter in it. Real high flow. And these can actually be cleaned up, re-oiled, and then reused. So guess what? I think I'm going to go that way once I get it out and evaluate it. Basically, it's got a metal bracket that actually sandwiches it in place, and it's using the same two screws that hold the regular stock one in place. That filter really looks nice. It obviously had not been in here very long. Here's that metal piece I'm talking about that actually sets on top of it and holds it in place like that. So that more or less duplicates the way the factory one mounted in there. Alright, so what we're going to do next is carry this over to the teardown bench, and I'm going to show you how to clean it up, even though this one really it doesn't need cleaning, to tell you the truth, but we're going to go ahead and show you the process in case yours does. So let's jump over to the teardown bench and I'll show you how to get it done. Alright guys, here's what we're going to use to get this cleaned up, but I do want to state, just starting straight out, do not try to do this with your OEM filter. It was not designed to be cleaned. You could just blow it out if you wanted to with some compressed air, but you do not need to use chemicals, as it would just destroy this filter element. The K&N, on the other hand, it is designed to be cleaned and reused. And they've got a couple of good products to get that done. What you need to do first is get it cleaned with it's just basically a cleaner spray. And you can use this on the fabric or the foam type filters. Just want to shake it up pretty well. And we're going to spray down both sides. Let it soak in for about 15 minutes. And then we're actually going to take it outside and just use water to clean it out. Once we do that, we just want to let it air dry. Don't try to rush it and use the compressor to start blowing it through there, because you can actually damage your filter if you do that. Now we just need to get the filter oiled, and you want to make very sure with this fabric type filter that you use the right type fabric oil, because they actually make one for the foam as well, and you would not want to use that on this particular filter. So just need to get this shook up, and we're going to spray both sides as evenly as we can. Just get an even coat. Don't get too carried away. getting it sprayed down. If you do, it's not the end of the world. It just would make your machine run a little rich, maybe even smoke for a little bit while it pulls that excess through. Just getting the edges cleaned up, and really that is all there is to it. So now, installation, it's just the reverse of what we did when we took it apart. So let's get this bench out of the way and get it reinstalled. When you put in the filter, make sure it goes all the way down. At the bottom, you'll see some tabs that it needs to fit into. And rule of thumb is, if you have to force the top section in, you don't have it aligned correctly. When you get it aligned properly, these upper screws are really easy to put in. All right, next, just need to get on the upper airbox cover. It's just got 6 of those Phillips screws. All right, with those 6 in, we're about to put in that little bracket that holds the ECU. All right, it is directional, so you want that edge to be facing up like that. Now, don't forget to plug in your intake air temperature sensor, because guess what? Yes, it'll crank up, but it's going to give you a check engine light if you forget to plug that in. All right, with everything secure, all we need to do now is just bring over the fuel tank cover and get it bolted back down. All right, before you put this on, make sure you haven't lost any of your little washers and grommets. Make sure they're still in place. That, when you're pushing it down, make sure you pull out your lower cowlings or fairings to where they don't get hit. And then also make sure you've got it centered on that gasket or the seal that surrounds the fuel tank filler, and then just push it down. Right at the rear of the tank, you've got another one of those washers / little grommets that goes in there. Next, get these little push pins in that hold in that plastic flap at the front. Now the outer fairing actually has a couple of points it needs to slide in right here at the front, and then pop it in place like that. Don't forget these little plastic screw type rivets back at the back on top, and just push those in. Alright guys, well that about wraps this little project up. Listen, you need to go in and inspect the air filter about every 8,000 miles, unless you actually ride in an environment where there's a lot of dust, dirt, whatnot. Most people don't ride down dirt roads. I know a few of you do. If that's the case, you need to get in there and check it at least every 4,000 miles. Well listen, if you need any of the parts that we use to do this little project, come see us at Partzilla.com. If there was something that I did that you couldn't see, or have a question as to why I was doing it that way or not, leave it in the comments section and I'll do my best to answer it. And until next time, we just want to say thank you for watching.